Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at using ChatGPT to create interactive stories.
Okay.
And we're going to be basing this deep dive on a blog post by Steve's Jr.
Sounds good.
It's called Cómo crear roteros y historias interactivas increíbles con ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah.
And it was published just a few days ago on November 4th.
Very cool. Very cool.
So,
Yeah, this is a hot topic.
yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff, and I think it really changes the way we think about storytelling.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that Steve Jr. really hits on that's so interesting is like how it reframes the reader's role.
Yeah.
It's not just about reading a story anymore. It's about
It's about being a part of it.
yeah, you're a participant. He talks about the reader becoming a co-author.
That's a really cool way to put it.
Yeah, someone who's actively shaping the narrative.
It's not just like those old choose-your-own-adventure books where you're like, okay, do I go left or right?
Exactly.
It's like you're actually making decisions that have real weight.
Yeah, you have agency.
Yeah.
And that creates a completely unique and personalized experience for every reader.
It's like your choices are actually shaping the world of the story.
Exactly. And what's so fascinating is how tools like ChatGPT are making this kind of complex storytelling more accessible.
Right.
I mean, think about it, branching narratives, multiple endings characters that react dynamically to your choices.
It's a lot to keep track of.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It used to require a huge amount of manual work.
Oh, yeah.
Like you'd have to write out every single possibility.
Could be like a massive flowchart.
Yeah, a choose your own adventure on steroids.
Exactly. But ChatGPT can help us manage all of that complexity.
It absolutely can really streamline the process.
Okay, so Steve's Jr. advocates for this structured approach to interactive storytelling. What does he mean by that?
So it's all about finding that balance between giving the reader freedom and maintaining a coherent plot.
So it can't just be random choices leading to random outcomes.
No, it has to make sense.
Right.
The reader needs to feel like they're making meaningful choices that are driving the plot forward.
And not just ending up in a dead end.
Exactly. Dead ends are the worst.
They are.
So a solid foundation is like a framework.
Okay.
It makes sure that no matter what choices the reader makes, the story remains engaging and logically sound.
So it's like setting up the rules of the game.
Exactly, the rules of the story.
Got it. And ChatGPT can help with that.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw some of the prompts that Steve's Jr. suggests, and I was really interested in them.
Yeah, there's some really good ones.
Like he asks, quais são as escolhas que o protagonista pode fazer neste ponto da história?
Which means, what are the protagonist's options at this point?
Right.
Yeah.
And also, quais são os possíveis impactos dessa decisão no enredo principal?
So how will this decision impact the main plot?
Yeah, exactly.
Those are great examples because they really show how you can use ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner.
Like a co-writer almost.
Yeah.
To help you think through all the possibilities.
It's like having someone to bounce ideas off of.
And to make sure that each choice leads to a logical and interesting outcome.
Right, because you don't want the story to just fall apart.
Definitely.
Each path needs to feel organic and integrated into the overall narrative.
It's like a tapestry.
Oh, I like that.
Where each thread is connected.
Yeah, and each choice the reader makes adds a new thread to the tapestry.
But a tapestry is nothing without its colors.
Oh, that's a good point.
And in a story, the colors are the characters.
Absolutely.
We need compelling characters to really draw the reader in.
And in interactive stories, the characters need to be even more dynamic than usual.
Because they have to react to all these different choices.
Exactly. And they have to do it in a way that feels believable.
Right.
Steve Jr. has some great prompts for developing complex characters with ChatGPT.
I saw that.
Like he suggests, describa a personalidade e o objetivo secreto de cada personagem.
So describe the personality and the secret objective of each character. Okay. And then, como o personagem X reagiria à decisão Y feita pelo leitor.
So how would character X react to decision Y made by the reader?
Exactly.
I like how those prompts force you to go deeper.
Yeah.
You can't just have a character who's like, oh, I'm the brave hero.
Right.
You have to think about their motivations, their flaws.
Their backstories.
Yeah, and how all of that would shape their reactions.
It's about creating characters who feel like real people.
Who have a life of their own.
Yeah, with their own agency.
And ChatGPT can help us do that.
Oh, absolutely. It can help us craft characters who respond authentically to the reader's choices.
So it's not just a matter of the writer deciding what happens.
No, it's a collaboration.
The reader and the characters are all shaping the story together.
Exactly, and that's what makes interactive storytelling so exciting.
It's a whole new way of experiencing narratives.
It really is.
And it's something that I think we're only just beginning to explore.
We're just scratching the surface.
And with tools like ChatGPT, who knows what incredible stories we'll be able to tell? The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a new kind of storytelling. But like with all this focus on reader choice, I'm curious about how to keep everything cohesive. You know?
Yeah, it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, you can't just have choices leading to random outcomes,
Yeah.
right?
It has to feel like a story.
Exactly. It has to be a unified experience.
Right.
It's like you said earlier, you're juggling a dozen different storylines at once, and you got to make sure they all connect in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want the story to just like spiral out of control.
Exactly. You want to give the reader agency, but you also don't want to lose sight of the core story.
So it's about finding that balance, right?
Between giving the reader freedom and keeping the story on track.
Like walking a tightrope.
Yeah, a narrative tightrope.
And making sure that it all leads to a satisfying conclusion.
Exactly. And that's where ChatGPT can be so helpful.
Yeah. How so?
Well, it's like having a co-pilot, you know, someone who can help you navigate all those complex narrative pathways.
And make sure that each branch feels authentic and well integrated into the overall story.
Right, because you don't want the reader to suddenly feel like they've been transported to a completely different story.
No, it has to feel like a natural progression.
Exactly.
It's almost like having a brainstorming partner
Right.
who can help you anticipate all those what-if scenarios.
And to make sure that each path the reader takes feels like it was always meant to be there.
So it's not just about coming up with ideas.
No, it's about refining those ideas.
And shaping them into a cohesive narrative.
Exactly. ChatGPT can be a valuable tool during the actual writing process, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like imagine using it to help you craft dialogue.
Or descriptions.
Or those heart-stopping moments of action or suspense.
It would be like having a writing assistant.
Exactly. One that can help you flesh out those different narrative branches and make sure that each one is as compelling as the last.
Wow, it's almost like having a team of writers.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, like each writer specializing in a different aspect of the story or a different character's voice.
And they all contribute to a unified vision.
But they each bring their own unique perspective and expertise.
Right, and that's the kind of depth and richness that ChatGPT can help us achieve in interactive storytelling.
Pretty amazing to think about.
It is. It's like storytelling on a whole new level.
It makes you realize how far we've come from those ancient campfire tales.
Yeah, from oral storytelling to written stories to interactive narratives.
It's incredible.
It really shows how the human desire to tell stories is so fundamental.
And how technology is constantly evolving the way we tell those stories.
And what's so exciting is that tools like ChatGPT are democratizing this form of storytelling.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's making it accessible to anyone with a story to tell.
You don't need to be a coding whiz or anything like that.
No, you just need an imagination and a willingness to experiment.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's like giving everyone the tools to create their own interactive adventures.
So what are some of the potential pitfalls to avoid when using AI for storytelling?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is managing complexity.
Yeah, it's easy to get carried away with all the possibilities.
Right. You can end up with a story that's too convoluted or difficult to follow.
Like a tangled mess.
Exactly.
So it's important to find that sweet spot between offering meaningful choices and ensuring that the narrative remains coherent.
Right. You don't want to overwhelm the reader with too many choices.
But you also don't want them to feel like they're on rails.
It's all about balance.
And what about pacing?
That's another challenge. You want to make sure the story moves forward at a compelling pace.
You don't want the reader to get bogged down in irrelevant detail.
Or feel like they're constantly hitting dead ends.
It has to feel like a journey.
Yeah, a journey with a clear destination.
And each choice the reader makes should move them closer to that destination.
Exactly.
So it's not just about giving the reader options.
It's about making sure those options have consequences.
Right.
They should shape the narrative in a way that feels both authentic and engaging.
It's about giving the reader a sense of agency.
Exactly, that their decisions actually matter in the world of the story.
And that probably requires a lot of planning up front.
It does. You can't just throw choices in randomly and hope for the best.
You have to think about how those choices will impact the plot and the characters.
And how they'll contribute to the overall experience of the story.
It sounds like a lot of work.
It is. It's a different kind of writing,
But it's also incredibly rewarding.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you see how those choices can lead to such diverse, and engaging narratives.
It's like creating a world where anything is possible.
And where the reader gets to choose their own adventure.
It really brings us back to that idea of the reader as a co-author.
Yeah.
It's not just about presenting a finished story.
It's about inviting the reader to participate in the creative process.
And with ChatGPT as our partner in this process, the possibilities really are endless.
They are. It's a new era of storytelling.
But let's talk a bit more about how to use ChatGPT effectively,
Okay.
especially when it comes to crafting those moments of suspense and surprise that keep readers on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, suspense is so important in interactive stories.
Because it's not just about reading about suspense.
Right, you're actually experiencing it.
Your choices can lead to those heart-stopping moments.
And that makes it so much more immersive.
And ChatGPT can help us create those moments.
It can. Those prompts that Estes Jr. suggested are a great starting point.
You mean the ones about adding a twist or creating a situation of suspense?
Exactly. Those prompts can help you brainstorm ideas.
But it's not just about generating ideas
No, it's about refining them.
and shaping them into moments that feel organic to the story.
Right, you want those moments of suspense to feel earned.
And they should be a natural consequence of the reader's choices,
It's about making the reader feel like they're in control.
but also surprising them.
Yeah, keeping them guessing.
And ChatGPT can help us do that.
It's like having a master of suspense on your writing team.
Someone who knows exactly how to twist the knife.
And how to keep the reader coming back for more.
So let's dive into some specific examples
Okay.
of how we can use ChatGPT to create those moments of suspense that will leave readers breathless. Okay, so let's get down to it. How can we actually use ChatGPT to create these suspenseful moments?
Well, one really effective technique is to use it to create cliffhangers.
Oh, yeah, at the end of like a chapter or section.
Exactly, where the reader has to make a choice.
Yeah,
And then boom, you hit them with a cliffhanger.
I like it.
So you could prompt ChatGPT with something like, write a cliffhanger ending where the protagonist is faced with a sudden, unexpected betrayal.
Ooh, that's good.
Right? And then you can use ChatGPT to generate different versions of that betrayal.
Oh, so it ties into their previous choices?
Exactly. So it feels like a consequence of their actions.
That's really clever.
It makes it so much more personal, you know?
Yeah, it would leave me wanting more, for sure.
Exactly. And it makes those choices feel so much more important.
Like they have real weight.
Yeah, because they do.
What are some other techniques?
One other good one is to use ChatGPT to introduce red herrings.
Red herrings?
Yeah, false clues.
Oh, okay.
Things that lead the reader down the wrong path.
So you think you know what's going on, but then...
But then, bam, plot twist.
You were wrong all along.
Exactly. You could use a prompt like, introduce a seemingly innocent character who's later revealed to be involved in the central mystery.
Oh, that's sneaky.
And then ChatGPT can help you develop that character's dialogue and actions.
In a way that's believable.
Exactly. You want to sow seeds of doubt without giving away the twist too early.
So it's all about subtlety.
It is. You want to keep the reader guessing.
And second-guessing themselves.
Exactly. Wondering who they can trust.
I like that.
It really makes the reader an active participant in the story.
They're not just reading it.
They're trying to solve the mystery, along with the protagonist.
And ChatGPT is like your partner in crime.
Yeah, it's like having a master manipulator on your writing team.
Someone who knows all the tricks of the trade.
And who can help you craft those twists and turns that will keep the reader hooked.
This is amazing.
It's a whole new way of thinking about storytelling.
What else can we do with ChatGPT for suspense?
Well, we can also use it to foreshadow events.
Oh, foreshadowing. I love foreshadowing.
It's so satisfying when you see those little hints pay off later in the story.
It's like the writer is winking at you.
Yeah, like they're letting you in on a secret.
So how can we use ChatGPT to do that?
You could prompt it with something like, plant a seemingly insignificant detail that foreshadows a major plot twist later on.
So it's like hiding little Easter eggs throughout the story.
Yeah, and the reader has to be really paying attention to catch them.
It makes you want to go back and reread the story.
It does. It adds a whole other layer to the experience.
And when you finally figure it out, it's
like a light bulb going off.
Exactly. You feel so smart.
It's a great feeling, and ChatGPT can help you create those moments.
So it's not just about suspense.
It's about
rewarding the reader for paying attention.
For being an active participant in the story.
This is all so fascinating.
It is. It really shows how ChatGPT can be a powerful tool for writers.
It's like having a secret weapon.
A secret weapon for storytelling.
But it's not about replacing the writer.
No, definitely not.
It's about augmenting their abilities.
Giving them new tools to create even more immersive and engaging experiences.
I think Steve's Jr. really hit the nail on the head with this blog post.
He did. He's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with interactive storytelling.
And he's showing us how we can use AI to create stories that are truly unique and personalized.
It's a really exciting time to be a writer.
It is, and I think we're only just scratching the surface of what's possible.
There's so many stories waiting to be told.
And so many new ways to tell them.
And with ChatGPT as our guide, who knows what incredible adventures we'll be able to create.
That's a great place to end it.
I think so too.
So to our listeners out there, get out there and start writing.
Experiment, explore, push the boundaries.
And most importantly, have fun.
Because that's what storytelling is all about.
And until next time.
Happy